But when it comes to Joel Embiid and Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Bucks and Sixers are going to be under immense pressure to be competitive right out the gate in the regular season. This week, he is going to fight a quote-unquote real boxer in Andre August. There's a reason why they chose this opponent for Jake Paul. They found somebody who's shorter, who's older, who's slower, and we don't even know what his reach is. And that's a problem because if you were a fighter of some sort of stature and of a high profile, we would know how long your arms are. And the entire game is just Brook Lopez, come here. Brook Lopez, come here. High screen and roll. Brook Lopez, come here. Come here. And it's just floater after floater, mid-range jumper after mid-range jumper. And I think Jalen Brunson could channel a lot of those same things.
Rudy Gobert, who stands in the paint and locks down the paint, as well as any other center in the NBA, this is sort of the criteria for the award now. Even though I would look at Bam Adebayo, he's the only player in the NBA who's been top 5 in voting for each of the last 4 years. And to me, he's the best defensive player in the NBA because of the switchability, versatility. You yourself, Dexter, have heard me say this before a number of different times. We've talked about this.
Wilder could come back, make paper, and then be out, and then sail off to the sunset.
You know how? He could fight Francis Ngannou. Because Francis Ngannou is out here tweeting. He said, great performance tonight, AJ, ... And then he said, hashtag Ngannou Joshua. Bro, Anthony Joshua's the A side if you guys are fighting. That's one. 2, Anthony Joshua is not going to pull the Tyson Fury. He's going to take you seriously and he's going to beat your ass.
To me, this game is more about their quarterback situation. If Zach Wilson is going to be someone who's, and I hate this term, but the guy moving forward, he needs to prove it probably in this game because now you need to see quarterback play like right away, but they used to tell you year 3 is where that development should kick in. This was my case for Geno Smith a long time ago, and then he got punched in the face. And look at him now. He became a Pro Bowler several years later. Jake Paul is a minus 650 favorite, which tells you all you need to know about the quote-unquote boxer that he is fighting against. I'm actually going to pick Jake Paul by knockout at plus 290 depending on where you look. And I would say that it's disappointing if he doesn't win by knockout. So Jake Paul, you need to win this fight by knockout because if you don't, you can't really turn around and tell people, hey, what could they say now? Because the answer will be a whole lot if you don't get it done this weekend. Julius Randle was signed for less than a max. RJ Barrett is not on a max contract. Jalen Brunson, famously, not on a max contract. Got paid a lot, but he's not on a max contract. And now you're looking at him a year later and he looks like a bargain. If somebody asks out in January, so to speak, the Knicks do have the money and the draft capital to pull this off.
This guy, Bryan Fonseca, he loves international basketball as much as anybody that I know.
I look more forward to this almost than the NBA playoffs.
Oh wow.
Almost.
See?
It's country versus country, man.
See?
As a bettor, what do you do with the Wizards?
You ignore them as best as you could.
If you think the Knicks are going to make another move like I do, now I don't know when that move is going to be. But I think the OG Anunoby move is clearly the move before the move because the Knicks maintained all their first round picks. They gave up a really good second rounder, but they maintained all their first round picks in this trade.
Worthy favorite, sure. Minus 125? I don't know about that. This is going to be a boring fight if Devin Haney is able to just counter from a distance, box, slip, and move. It'll be an exciting fight if Regis Prograis can cut off the ring effectively and then force Devin Haney into a firefight. Will he be able to do that? I have questions, as does Vegas.
I know we love giving Defensive Player of the Year to dudes who can come here, then they can go here, and they can just guard their area, but Bam does it all. I think if the Heat can get a top 4 finish, it's going to be probably a Bam Gobert contest, but I think Bam is probably destined to lose that because the media is just going to give it to Rudy Gobert.
Oh, here we go. If you know anything about Bryan.
The best bet you can get on this fight is, unfortunately, Devin Haney to win by decision at minus 225. Use that as a parlay leg, obviously. You don't want to play that straight up because you're not going to get a ton of value there. Regis Prograis ultimately is not going to win a decision. He's not going to box well enough compared to Devin Haney, who's going to bank rounds. And if you think Regis Prograis is going to win, you have to bet him by knockout.
It would be embarrassing, frankly, if these two men retire and they never fight. It would be one of the worst days in boxing history. The 30 for 30 would be epic. This sport dropped the ball on one of the biggest heavyweight fights of all time, probably the biggest heavyweight spectacle it could have been since Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson.
I wouldn't be scared of Italy if I were them. Italy's in their same group. Beyond that, when you're looking at round 2, you're probably looking at a matchup with Serbia, and depending on who emerges from Puerto Rico, South Sudan, and China, all of whom the Dominican Republic should beat. And as a Puerto Rican, kind of pains me to say that a little bit, but it's true. The Dominican Republic team is very good. I went to sleep thinking Lakers -1.5 felt good. Then I woke up, looked at some deeper numbers, and I was like, yeah, I don't know if this is going to be the case. And now I don't even know who's playing. I think that with Karl Anthony Towns and also some other familiar names on that roster, Angel Delgado for people locally, LJ Figueroa, who used to play at St. John's, and also Victor Liz has been playing in Puerto Rico, is the captain of the team.
Marlon Zappalas is somebody who is a skilled fighter, but just not to the level of Naoya Inoue. He's not bigger, he's not stronger, he's not faster, he's not more experienced in world title bouts, and Naoya Inoue is probably not going to respect his power.
Alperen Sengun, I think, is going to be an all-star, and he wasn't previously, so he's somebody you have to look at because that's kind of the criteria, at least it is to the NBA voters. Who was somebody that wasn't an all-star, now they were, or who's somebody that was an all-star already and is a superstar now? I think those are the two guys this year. I think we're going to actually get it right this year, and it's going to be Tyrese Maxey.